There is a reason the wealthy live in calm assurance, while the rest of the world struggles, worries, and waits. It is not because they are favored by fate. It is not because they were born with luck. It is because they discovered something hidden in plain sight that changes everything. Most men miss it. They walk past it every day, too busy, too doubtful, too distracted to notice. And while they wait for life to change, those who saw it and seized it rise higher, build faster, and live freer. What is this secret? I will not hand it to you in a single word because you would dismiss it, laugh at it, and go back to drifting. But in the next few moments, if you remain, you will begin to see it for yourself. And once you see it, you will never again envy the wealthy. You will understand how to stand among them. Think of what it will mean for you. Not in vague hopes, but in the small details of daily life that prove everything has changed. To wake not in vague hopes, but in the small details of daily life that prove everything has changed. To wake each morning without the heavy fog of confusion, but with a clear aim burning in your mind. To open your eyes and know exactly what you are building, exactly where you are going, and exactly why today matters. Imagine walking through your day and feeling opportunity move toward you. Letters arriving, doors opening, hands extended, not because of luck, but because your definite test has magnetized them. To sense that the world itself bends to your purpose, that what once slipped away now comes to meet you. Picture the relief of knowing your labor is no longer wasted. No more nights wondering why you work so hard and seeking to show for it. Every effort now compounds brick upon brick, building something solid that cannot be taken from you. A business, a fortune, a name that will outlast you. Feel the dignity of standing before your family with calm assurance. Their faces free of worry because they know you have secured their future. To walk through your home in peace, no longer haunted by the whispers of unpaid bills. No longer tortured by doubt, but free. Free to give, free to rest, free to choose. Think of the certainty you will carry, the calm strength of knowing that tomorrow is not a gamble but a harvest, that your future is secured because you have obeyed the very law that built every great fortune in history. The law that turned paupers into giants, the law that every man of wealth has trusted, though they seldom speak of it aloud. There are two classes of men in the world, not the rich and the poor, not the learned and the unlearned, but those who know the law of riches and those who ignore it. The wealthy live by this law with calm assurance. The masses stumble in blindness. The difference is not fate, not luck, not accident. Calm assurance. The masses stumble in blindness. The difference is not fate, not luck, not accident. It is definiteness of purpose. The wealthy man wakes with aim. His mind is fixed on a definite plan. Every act builds toward his goal. He knows what he wants, when he wants it, and what he will give in return. This definiteness becomes magnet, drawing allies, opportunities, and fortune. The drifting man wakes confused. His mind is clouded, his day wasted. He labors, but his labor builds nothing. Andrew Carnegie was not born rich. He was not born favored. He was born poor in a small Scottish home. His father was a weaver who lost work to machines. His family lived in want. Yet young Carnegie saw something others missed, that men with definite aim rise while those who drift perish. He chose definiteness, and that choice created empire. Carnegie began as bobbin boy in a mill, 12 hours a day for a few cents. Thousands labored beside him, yet their lives ended obscure. Carnegie began as bobbin boy in a mill, 12 hours a day for a few cents. Thousands labored beside him, yet their lives ended obscure. They drifted. Carnegie was different. He aimed to rise. He aimed to serve. He aimed to command. That definiteness turned small steps into giant leaps. In time, he controlled steel, employed nations, and lived as master. The torment of wasted labor is the curse of the drifter. He toils year after year, yet has nothing to show. His wages vanish in bills. His strength fades. His time is gone. He asks, why does life not reward me? The answer is simple. He had no aim. Labor without aim is fuel for another's fire. It builds nothing of his own. The calm assurance of the wealthy comes from aim. He knows his hours build something lasting. Each brick he lays, each letter he writes, each decision he makes is part of a structure. He rests in peace at night, for his labor has meaning. He is not at night, for his labor has meaning. He is not chasing shadows, but building destiny. This calmness is not luck. It is the fruit of definiteness. The invisible divide between wealth and want is drawn in thought. The drifter's mind is scattered, pulled by doubt, fear, and distraction. He chases many things and catches none. The master's mind is focused. He rejects distractions, ignores critics, silences fear. His thought, definite and persistent, becomes law. Life itself bends to him because he knows where he is going. Drifting blinds men. They see opportunity but do not recognize it. They hear wisdom but do not act upon it. They waste years in routine hoping fortune will knock at random. It never does. Fortune answers only definite tests. Until a man awakens from drifting, he remains blind, no matter how hard he labors. His blindness is not of eyes, but of purpose. Definitesse awakens sight. The moment a man writes his aim, the world changes. He begins to notice doors once invisible. He sees allies where before he saw strangers. He discovers possibilities hidden in plain view. The world has not changed. His sight has. Wealth was always near, but he was blind until definitesse gave him vision. Affirm, I am awake. I choose definitesse. I no longer definitesse gave him vision. Affirm, I am awake. I choose definitesse. I no longer drift in blindness. Speak it aloud. Write it. Repeat it morning and night. Let it engrave itself upon your subconscious. For the first act of wealth is awakening. Until you declare definitesse, you are asleep, dreaming without direction. You are asleep, dreaming without direction. Once awake, you begin the journey from want to wealth. Think of the multitudes who labor in mills, offices, and fields. They work as hard as Carnegie once did, yet their lives remain small. They believe labor alone brings riches. It does not. Labor without aim builds fortunes for others, not for oneself. It is definiteness that transforms labor into empire. Without it, the hardest worker dies poor. The wealthy know this law. They guard their aim as treasure. They refuse distractions. They silence critics. They act daily toward their purpose. The world envies them, saying they are lucky. But luck is the name drifters give to definitesse they do not possess. Wealth is not accident, it is law, and law obeys definitesse. And therefore I charge you, awaken to the divide. See that the wealthy are not different in flesh or blood, but in mind. They know where they are going. Do you? If not, you are drifting, and drifting is slavery. Write your aim. Declare it. Live it. Cross. If not, you are drifting, and drifting is slavery. Write your aim. Declare it. Live it. Cross the divide from want to wealth. The law is waiting. The choice is yours. Every man drifts until he fixes in mind one definite chief aim. That aim is the compass of the wealthy. It directs thought, speech, and action. Without it, the ship of life is tossed by winds of fear, waves of circumstance, and currents of habit. With it, the ship sails directly to harbor. The difference between master and slave is the presence of a chief aim. The crowd lives vaguely. The difference between master and slave is the presence of a chief aim. The crowd lives vaguely. They say, I want success. But success is not a word. It is a sum, a date, a plan. They say, I want money. But money without number, date, and service is no more than a dream. The wealthy man says, I will earn this exact sum by this exact date through this exact service. That clarity makes him commander of fortune. Edwin C. Barnes is proof. He desired not to work for Edison, but to be his partner. His aim was definite. He wrote it upon his mind, declared it to Edison himself, and held it for years. Thousands worked in Edison's shops, yet only Barnes became partner. Why? Because their aim was wages. His aim was definite fortune. The law obeyed his definiteness. Fortune. The law obeyed his definiteness. The chief aim must be written. Thought alone drifts. Words spoken aloud give form. Written aim engraves itself upon the subconscious. Read it daily with emotion, morning and night. Picture it vividly. Speak it as already fact. Soon your subconscious will accept it, and life itself will begin to move in obedience. Fortune begins with pen and paper. Andrew Carnegie confessed that definiteness of purpose was his first secret. He knew from boyhood he would rise above poverty. He fixed in mind the aim of commanding industry. He spoke it, acted upon it, and adjusted each step toward it. His aim was compass. Without it, his labor would have been wasted. With it, his toil built steel empires. The drifter lacks aim. He changes daily. One day he wants riches, the next he wants ease, the next he wants praise. His mind is fog. His path is crooked. His result is nothing. The devil owns him. For indecision is his chain. He may labor fiercely, but without compass. Nothing. The devil owns him. For indecision is his chain. He may labor fiercely, but without compass. He circles endlessly. Life yields only to definitesse. The wealthy man guards his aim against distraction. Critics scoff, neighbors mock, even friends doubt. He holds steady. He knows the crowd laughs today, but will envy tomorrow. He silences ridicule by persistence. His definitesse is immovable, like compass fixed upon true north. His aim does not waver. That constancy draws respect, allies, and fortune. Affirm, my aim is clear. My aim commands my day. I build toward it hourly. Repeat this until confusion dies. Each time doubt whispers, declare it. Each time distraction tempts, repeat it. Your subconscious will soon obey, guiding your eyes, ears, and hands toward opportunity. Definiteness will command fortune as a general commands soldiers. Exercise tonight. Write your chief aim. Name the exact sum of money you will earn, the date by which you will have it, the service you will render. Write it boldly. Sign it. Read it aloud. Morning and night. Picture it vividly. Night. Picture it vividly. Feel it. This is the starting point. Without it, you drift. With it, you command. Henry Ford was not guided by vague wishing. His aim was definite. To build a car so cheap the average man could own it. He wrote it, spoke it, lived it. That definitesse guided each act. It silenced critics, attracted allies, inspired persistence. His compass was steady. Fortune answered. The world called him lucky. In truth, he was definite. Thomas Edison's inventions were not accidents. His aim was definite, to create light for the masses. He endured failure because his compass was fixed. Each experiment, though failing, moved him closer. Thousands of attempts mattered not, for his aim was clear. Without definitesse, he would have abandoned the task. With it, he conquered darkness. Rockefeller's definitesse was efficiency and control. He aimed not merely to refine oil, but to dominate it. His aim guided him to pipelines, organization, and expansion. Rivals mocked organization and expansion. Rivals mocked, courts attacked, newspapers cursed. But his compass held. His aim was clear. Fortune obeyed. The world remembers him because definiteness built empire. The chief aim does more than direct action. It awakens imagination. Once your mind knows exactly what you want, it begins to picture ways to attain it. Ideas flow, flashes appear, hunches come. Allies are attracted, doors open, life bends. The drifter never experiences this, for his vague wish gives imagination no direction. The definite man lives in revelation. Affirm again, my aim is clear. My aim commands my day. I build toward it hourly. These are not empty words. They are law. Speak them morning and night. Write them. Live them. Each repetition feeds definitesse into your subconscious. Soon your hours will align. Your choices will sharpen. Your life will move with force. The devil fears the man with chief aim. He cannot tempt him with drifting. He cannot distract him with excuses. He cannot enslave him with fear. The man of definitesse is beyond his grip. 98% of men drift, and the devil owns them. The 2% who write their aim, repeat it, and act upon it are free. Therefore, I charge you, cease drifting, cease vague hoping, cease wishing without plan. Write your chief aim tonight. Speak it aloud twice daily. Picture it vividly. Guard it against distraction. Live toward it daily. This compass will guide you from want to wealth, from obscurity to fame, from slavery to mastery. Do it, for delay is drifting. Desire is the seed, definitesse the compass. But faith is the silent partner that makes fortune possible. Without faith, desire dies, definitesse wavers, decisions falter, and persistence collapses. Faith is the substance of riches not yet seen. It is the certainty that what the mind demands, life must deliver. Without it, men remain slaves. With it, they command. Faith is not a gift given at random. It is cultivated, trained, strengthened. The wealthy deliberately build faith through affirmation, visualization, and action. They do not wait to feel it. They create it. They repeat aloud their chief aim until it becomes belief. They picture vividly their fortune until the subconscious accepts it as fact. Faith is grown by repetition. The fearful man prays but doubts. He speaks words of hope, yet whispers within, "It will not happen." The subconscious obeys the whisper, not the words. He receives nothing. The faithful man The faithful man affirms with conviction, pictures with certainty, and acts boldly. His subconscious accepts the command, and life itself bends. Faith is obedience to the law of riches. Henry Ford faced ridicule from experts. They said cars for the masses were impossible. Financiers refused him. Newspapers mocked him, but Ford believed with unshaken faith. He pictured cars in every home. He repeated his aim until it was law in his mind. His faith silenced critics, attracted allies, and created empire. Without faith, his desire would have perished. John D. Rockefeller saw order and chaos. Where others saw oil as fleeting gamble, he believed in efficiency and organization. He pictured pipelines carrying oil across states when men still hauled it in barrels. Courts attacked, rivals fought, critics cursed. But his faith in his vision never wavered. His empire rose from faith applied with definite tests and persistence. Abraham Lincoln endured defeat after defeat in elections. He was mocked as backwards lawyer, opposed by rivals, scorned by press. Yet his faith in union and justice sustained him. When war tore the nation, his faith anchored him. Critics counseled led retreat, but he stood firm. Faith guided him through despair. His persistence was fueled by belief greater than fear. Faith and fear cannot live together. One expels the other. When fear dominates, faith vanishes. When faith grows, fear dies. The devil owns 98% of men by filling them with fear of poverty, criticism, old age, loss of love, and death. But the man who cultivates faith daily is beyond his grip. Faith makes him free. Autosuggestion is the tool of faith. By repeating affirmations with emotion, you engrave belief upon the subconscious. The subconscious accepts repetition as fact, whether true or false. Speak poverty daily, and it delivers poverty. Speak riches daily, and it delivers riches. Faith is not accident. It is built by deliberate autosuggestion until belief becomes nature. Affirm, I believe in my power. I believe in my aim. I believe until life yields. Speak it morning and night. Write it. Whisper it when fear rises. Shout it when doubt tempts. Each repetition plants seed of belief. Soon your subconscious accepts it, and you act boldly, speak confidently, and persist relentlessly. Faith once planted commands destiny. The drifter neglects this. He allows fear to whisper unchecked. He says, I cannot. He says it is too late. He says it is impossible. His subconscious obeys. His life proves his words. He perishes not from lack of opportunity, but from lack of faith. He was slave to his own unbelief. The devil needs no chains when a man binds himself with doubt. The wealthy deliberately shield faith from poison. They avoid complainers, mockers, and cynics. They guard speech carefully, never declaring failure, never confessing fear. They speak only what they wish created. Their words are chosen weapons. They know the subconscious accepts language as command. To speak weakness is to create weakness. To speak faith is to create fortune. To speak faith is to create fortune. Edison's laboratory saw thousands of failures. Assistants doubted, critics mocked, investors fled. Yet Edison's faith in his aim was unbroken. Each failure he declared progress. Each defeat he called step forward. His faith lit the world because it refused to die. Without faith, he would have quit. With it, he endured. Faith made persistence possible. Faith inspires others. Schwab's bold speech to Carnegie radiated faith. His words rang with conviction. That faith inspired Carnegie to form United States Steel. Billions were created because one man spoke with belief. Faith attracts allies, investors, partners. Men follow the man who believes. They avoid the man who doubts. Faith multiplies power by inspiring confidence. Affirm again, I believe in my purpose. I believe in my destiny. I believe until life yields. These words spoken daily awaken courage. They silence fear. They engrave faith upon subconscious. Soon your very presence radiates conviction. Men feel it. Opportunities are drawn to it. Life itself bends before it. The devil flees from it. Exercise. Write your chief aim on paper. Read it aloud twice daily with conviction. Picture it as already complete. Speak affirmations of belief. Feel the possession. Act boldly in its direction. Each day you repeat, faith grows. Each day fear weakens. In time, belief becomes certainty. That certainty compels fortune. Overnight, what seemed impossible appears inevitable. Faith is silent partner because it works unseen. Desire is loud. Decision is bold. Persistence is visible. Faith works quietly in subconscious, directing thought, guiding action, attracting opportunity. The world calls it luck, miracle, or fate. In truth, it is faith-fulfilling law. Wealth appears overnight, not by chance, but by silent work of faith long planted. Therefore, I charge you, cultivate faith. Do not wait for it. Build it. Repeat affirmations until belief. Do not wait for it. Build it. Repeat affirmations until belief becomes instinct. Picture vividly until you feel possession. Act boldly as though certain. Surround yourself with faithful allies. Refuse fear, doubt, and complaint. Guard your subconscious. Feed it faith daily. This is the wealth of the wealthy, their silent partner. Desire is the seed, definitesse the compass, faith the fuel, but decision is the spark that sets it all ablaze. Until a man decides firmly, he is but a dreamer. He may wish, he may hope, he may even pray, but his life drifts without anchor. Decision is the act by which thought becomes command and fortune begins to move. Indecision is the devil's favorite weapon. He whispers, "Wait until tomorrow." Conditions are not right. Ask another's opinion. Delay until certain, and men obey. They drift, they waver, they postpone until opportunity is gone. The undecided man is slave to fear and subject to control. His thoughts are borrowed, his actions dictated by others. The decisive man is free. He may err, but he acts. His mistakes he corrects quickly, but his progress is steady. The undecided man is paralyzed. The decisive man advances. The undecided man is paralyzed. The decisive man advances. Even his enemies respect him, for he is master of himself. The crowd fears decision, but the wealthy embrace it, knowing riches appear the moment of firm resolve. Charles Schwab proved this truth at a dinner with Andrew Carnegie. Surrounded by cautious men who feared expansion, Schwab spoke decisively of bold growth. His words were not tentative, but charged with definitesse. That one speech created United States Steel, the first billion-dollar corporation. Fortune moved in a night because one man decided. Edwin Barnes, poor and obscure, decided not merely to work for Edison, but to be his partner. Thousands labored in Edison's shops, yet only Barnes became partner. Why? Because they drifted with wages as aim. He decided upon partnership as destiny. His decision directed his thought, speech, and labor until opportunity appeared and the world obeyed. Indecision breeds procrastination, and procrastination breeds procrastination, and procrastination breeds fear. Each day postponed strengthens the habit of delay until life itself becomes paralysis. The devil owns men through indecision. For once they hesitate, hypnotic rhythm binds them. Years pass, chances vanish, and they awake old and poor, never realizing one firm decision long ago could have set them free. Decision is not recklessness. It is the product of thought, but once made, it is final. The wealthy decide quickly and change slowly, if at all. The poor decide slowly, if ever, and change quickly at every whisper of opinion. This is why one commands and the other obeys. Fortune respects the decisive. It despises the wavering. Abraham Lincoln preserved the Union through decision. Counselors urged compromise. Critics cried for surrender. Newspapers mocked him. Yet Lincoln decided firmly that the Union must endure. His decision held through war and despair. Without it, the Republic would have perished. History remembers not the doubts of others, but the definiteness of his choice. John D. Rockefeller faced lawsuits, rivals, public hatred. He decided firmly to dominate oil through order and efficiency. His decision did not tremble at courts or critics. It held steady, and his empire grew. His fortune was not luck. It was the fruit of unwavering decision applied daily until the world itself bent to resolve. Exercise. Tonight, write a decision regarding your chief aim. Do not postpone. Write, I have decided to earn this sum by this date through this service. I will not retreat. Sign it. Read it aloud with emotion. Place it where your eyes see it daily. Let it stand as covenant between you and destiny. Life itself will answer to it. Affirm, I decide boldly. I decide swiftly. My decision commands destiny. Repeat until hesitation dies. Each time doubt tempts, declare it. Each time fear whispers, speak it louder. Your subconscious will accept it, and your acts will align. Decision will become your nature. You will cease waiting and begin. Commanding. Fortune obeys those who decide. Edison's thousands of failures did not sway him because his decision was made before the first experiment. He did not test to see if he might succeed. He tested to find how he would succeed. Decision closed the door on retreat. That is why he endured while others quit. His invention was not luck, but the child of decision. The devil confessed that indecision is his sharpest tool. Once a man delays, hypnotic rhythm seizes him. Each postponement deepens the groove until he drifts forever. 98 out of 100 men are owned this way. The 2% escape because they decide quickly and stand firm. Their lives may look miraculous. In truth, they simply refuse to waver. Affirm again. I decide boldly. My decision is law. My destiny obeys my choice. These are not mere words. They are the essence of mastery. Speak them until you believe them. Live them until hesitation dies. Your mind will become steel, your will unshakable. Fortune will flow to you as river obeys gravity, for decision directs it. Therefore, I charge you. Stop waiting. Stop asking permission. Stop hesitating at the threshold of opportunity. Stop hesitating at the threshold of opportunity. Decide your aim. Decide your service. Decide your fortune. Write it. Speak it. Live it. Never retreat. This act alone will place you among the masters. Decision is the crossing point. Without it, you drift. With it, you command. Decision sets the course, but persistence walks the road. Without persistence, decision crumbles, faith weakens, desire cools, and imagination fades. The devil defeats men not by crushing blows, but by repeated whispers of discouragement until they quit. Persistence is the shield against those whispers, the hammer that breaks the wall, the bridge between decision and reward. Most men surrender at first resistance. They attempt once, surrender at first resistance. They attempt once, meet failure, and retreat. They say it was not meant to be. They excuse themselves, blaming fate, bad luck, or lack of help. The truth is simpler. They lacked persistence. Fortune tests every man. It asks, will you continue when mocked, when delayed, when defeated? Those who persist pass. Those who quit perish. RUD learned this painfully. He and his uncle struck gold, invested, and dreamed of riches. The vein vanished. Discouraged, they sold their machinery to a junk dealer. That man persisted, drilled a few feet deeper, and struck millions. Darby quit 3 feet from gold. The junk dealer's persistence turned scrap into fortune. The lesson is eternal. Darby did not waste it. Later in insurance, he faced endless rejections. This time he persisted, remembering his mistake. He endured ridicule, slammed doors, and refusals, but he pressed on. In time, his persistence made him wealthy. Temporary defeat was not failure. It was the test. Persistence transformed him from quitter into master. Edison faced thousands of failures in creating the light bulb. Assistants doubted, investors fled, newspapers failures in creating the light bulb. Assistants doubted, investors fled, newspapers mocked. Yet Edison persisted. Each failure he called progress. Each defeat a step forward. His persistence conquered darkness itself. Without it, his invention would have died with his doubts. With it, he illuminated the world. Henry Ford endured lawsuits, financial collapse, fires, and ridicule. Many times he might have quit. Instead, he persisted. He rebuilt, reorganized, and pressed forward. His persistence turned obstacles into stepping stones. The crowd called him lucky. In truth, he was relentless. Fortune obeys persistence because persistence proves desire is real. Persistence is habit. It is not born in a day, but forged daily. Each time you rise after defeat, you temper it. Each time you endure ridicule without surrender, you harden it. Persistence is built as steel through heat, hammer, and pressure. The weak quit, the strong persist. Affirm, I persist until I succeed. I endure. I conquer by never quitting. Speak it when tempted to give up. Speak it when delayed, when defeated, when ridiculed. Each repetition increases persistence upon your subconscious. Soon quitting will feel impossible. Your will becomes iron. Yours becomes unbreakable. The drifter has no persistence. He begins many things, finishes none. He grows weary at resistance, discouraged at delay, broken at ridicule. He blames circumstances, yet he himself surrendered. His life is endless, beginning without completion. The devil owns him because he obeys discouragement as command. His chains are forged of his own surrender. The wealthy persist against all resistance. They know delay is natural. Defeat is temporary. Ridicule is meaningless. They continue. Each blow, each obstacle fuels their determination. They grow stronger as the crowd grows weaker. Persistence makes them invincible. Fortune cannot resist a man who refuses to quit. Exercise. Choose one. Act toward it daily for 30 days without missing one. Record each act. Refuse to let a single day pass without progress. At month's end, persistence will be habit. The rhythm of continuity will carry you. Obstacles will appear smaller. You will feel sure. Persistence will have become your nature. Lincoln persisted through defeat after defeat in elections. Lesser men would have retired to obscurity. Continued, he endured ridicule, loss, yet he pressed forward. At last, persistence placed him in the presidency. His greatness was not in talent alone, but in refusal to quit. Persistence crowned him leader when others had surrendered. Rock persisted through endless attacks. Rivals conspired, courts fought, newspapers cursed. Yet he endured. Each attack he outlasted. Each obstacle he overcame. His persistence built empire. Carnegie faced strikes, betrayals, and opposition, yet persisted until steel crowned him king. All great fortunes testify persistence is the difference between wealth and want. Affirm again, I persist until I succeed. Delay cannot defeat me. I am relentless. I conquer by endurance. Write these words. Speak them morning and night. Each repetition strengthens your will. Each act proves them true. Persistence becomes your creed, your shield, your weapon. No devil can enslave the man who refuses to quit. The devil himself admitted, once a man persists, I lose him. He can whisper excuses, multiply failures, summon ridicule. But if you persist, his weapons fail. 98% of men surrender. The 2% persist, and fortune crowns them. The devil owns the weak. He fears the relentless. Be relentless, and you are free. Therefore I charge you, persist. Persist when weary. Persist when delayed. Persist when ridiculed. Persist when defeated. Refuse to quit. Each day of persistence weakens mastery. Persistence is the bridge. Cross it, and riches await. Quit, and slavery is your fate. Choose persistence, and you conquer. Imagination is the workshop of the mind. It is desire is shaped into plan, faith into conviction, and persistence into progress. Every fortune ever built was first a picture in the imagination of one man. Stone, steel, and gold obey imagination. The crowd mocks the dreamer, yet serves him when his dream becomes reality. Imagination is the true throne of wealth. There are two forms of imagination. Synthetic imagination rearranges known ideas into new combinations. It is useful for invention, business, and organization. Creative imagination receives flashes, hunches, and inspiration from infinite intelligence. Both are vital. The wealthy cultivate both deliberately. The poor neglect both and remain bound by what already exists. John D. Rockefeller imagined pipelines carrying oil across states when others still hauled barrels on wagons. They mocked the expense and laughed at the vision. Yet his imagination was vivid, his faith firm, his persistence relentless. Soon his pipelines stretched across the land, lowering costs, raising efficiency. Imagined steel not as mere product, but as empire. He pictured integration. Mines, mills, ships, and railroads all under one command. Others scoffed at such scale. His imagination guided each act until the picture in his mind became fact in the world. His fortune was not accident, but the harvest of bold imagination applied persistently. Thomas Edison pictured light filling homes long before he knew how to extinguish his vision. His imagination made persistence possible. Each experiment brought him closer to the picture in his mind. Without imagination, his failures would have crushed him. With it, his failures became steps toward triumph. Henry Ford imagined cars so cheap that every working man could own one. Critics declared it madness. Financiers refused him. Experts mocked. Yet Ford's imagination was vivid. He pictured families driving, towns expanding, life transformed. His picture commanded him to persist. That imagination created industry and fortune. The world remembers the result, not the ridicule misused in slaves. Most men imagine fear, debt, sickness, and failure. They rehearse disasters, picture poverty, expect defeat. The subconscious obeys those pictures as readily as riches. The devil delights in such imagination, for it binds men to slavery. Their own minds create the chains that hold them. They perish in prisons of their own making. Affirm, I see my riches in thought. I live them now. My imagination is my empire. Speak it daily. Each time fear paints poverty, replace it with wealth. Each time doubt pictures failure, replace it with victory. The subconscious will accept whichever picture dominates. Guard your imagination as carefully as you would guard treasure. Exercise each day. Withdraw into silence. Close your eyes. Picture your definite aim as already complete. See the sum of money in your possession. See the home, the freedom, the service rendered. Feel it as though real. Smell the air. Hear the voices. Taste the triumph. Live it in mind until subconscious accepts it as fact. Life will obey. Imagination awakens allies. Men follow the one who can paint vivid, but for its imagination. He pictured steel's future so vividly that others believed. That picture birthed United States Steel and billions of fortune. Imagination not only commands your own mind, but inspires the minds of others. The drifter never imagines boldly. He repeats yesterday, fears tomorrow, envies today. His imagination is wasted on worry. He pictures debt and receives it, sickness and suffers it, ridicule and invites it. He mocks dreamers, yet serves them. He remains servant because his imagination is chained to fear. The devil owns him through the images he accepts. The master imagines deliberately. He creates in thought before creating in matter. He guards pictures in mind as sacred. His subconscious with vivid vision and subconscious his acts, attracts allies and arranges events. Imagination makes him creator, not creature. Affirm again. I create riches in mind first. My imagination builds the empire I command. Repeat until belief forms. Each day add bell. Each night review. Soon the picture will be bigger than your present. The subconscious will treat it as real and move you toward it. Fortune cannot resist a man who lives already in his vision. Infinite intelligence speaks through imagination. Flashes, hunches, sudden ideas. These are whispers of guidance. The man who cultivates imagination hears them and acts. The drifter ignores them, doubts them, mocks them, and loses. Many fortunes have been born from a single hunch acted upon by a man of faith and imagination. Do not neglect these gifts. Edison followed hunches that others ignored. Ford trusted visions that experts mocked. Carnegie acted upon ideas that seemed madness. Their faith and imagination turned visions into riches. The world calls them geniuses. They were simply obedient to the law. Imagination first, reality second. Fortune follows imagination, guided by deafness and persistence. Therefore, I charge you, awaken imagination. Guard it. Defeat it. Direct it. Refuse to picture fear or defeat. Spend time daily living in the riches you demand of life. Inspire others with your vision. Act boldly upon flashes. Persist until picture becomes fact. This is how the wealthy build empires. This is how you must build yours. Build empires. This is how you must build yours. No man rises alone. The story of the solitary genius is a fable told to excuse mediocrity. Every fortune, every empire, every lasting achievement is the fruit of many minds united in harmony toward a definite aim. I call this union the mastermind. When two or more minds blend in spirit of faith and purpose, a greater power emerges, invisible yet irresistible. The mastermind multiplies strength beyond measure. One man alone may falter in fear, but with allies his courage grows. One imagination may see only part, but with many ideas multiply. One will may tire, but together persistence is sustained. The mastermind is like fire. One spark is small, but united sparks blaze. It is the wealthy man's hidden advantage. Andrew Carnegie admitted plainly, he knew little of steel making compared to his engineers. Yet he gathered to himself men of knowledge greater than his own, united them in harmony, and directed their efforts toward his aim. This alliance created one of the greatest fortunes in history. Carnegie said his real fortune was his mastermind group. Thomas Edison was credited with hundreds of inventions. Yet his laboratory was filled with assistants, thinkers, and experts who blended their minds with his. Alone, he could not have managed such work. But together, united in harmony, they produced marvel. His genius was multiplied by the mastermind he formed. The world remembers Edison, but behind him stood many. Henry Ford was not master of all knowledge. He was surrounded by managers, mechanics, financiers, and organizers who completed what he lacked. Critics mocked his limited schooling, yet his wisdom was greater. He knew how to attract and harmonize men. His fortune was not built by solitary labor, but by the mastermind of aligned minds. The drifter mocks alliances. He envies, resents, isolates. He says, I will do it alone. He fears comparison and rejects cooperation. Thus, he remains weak. His companions are doubters, complainers, and idlers who poison faith and kill persistence. Discord destroys. Envy divides. Fear isolates. The devil owns him because he refuses the law of harmony. The mastermind requires harmony. Without it, alliances collapse. Jealousy, distrust, and discord are poison. But when faith unites men under a definite aim, discord vanishes and power flows. Each member contributes strength and receives more than he gives. The mastermind is not arithmetic, but multiplication. Two minds in harmony are not two, but a third greater power. Affirm, I attract allies of faith. Together we rise. Together we multiply strength. Speak it daily. Believe it. Soon you will draw to yourself men of courage, persistence, and imagination. They will recognize your deafness and be drawn to it. The law cannot fail. Harmony attracts harmony, though. Faith attracts faith. Strength attracts strength. Exercise. Write qualities you lack. Perhaps you lack technical skill, financial knowledge, or organizational talent. Seek allies who possess these. Offer your own strength in return. Meet regularly, share openly, plan clearly, encourage boldly, build harmony deliberately. This is the mastermind. Alone, you are limited. With allies, you are limitless. Charles Schwab became leader of U.S. Steel not only by his decisiveness, but by his ability to inspire harmony among men. His boldness united investors, managers, and workers. His power was multiplied by the mastermind he created. Billions were born from alliances forged in deafness and faith. His rise was proof of the law. Abraham Lincoln formed a cabinet of rivals and critics. Yet by uniting them in purpose, he created a mastermind strong enough to preserve a nation. Without harmony, his burden would have broken him. With it, the mastermind guided decisions, sustained courage, and multiplied wisdom. Lincoln's greatness was not solitude, but unity. Rockefeller drew to himself organizers, financiers, and lawyers of skill greater than his own. His fortune was not his genius alone, but the collective power of his mastermind. The efficiency, order, and expansion that defined Standard Oil were products of blended minds directed toward one aim. His empire was proof of law applied. The devil confessed that once a man surrounds him with complaining doubters, his work is done. Their words of fear weaken him. Their doubts infect him. Their complaints drain him. But once a man unites with men of deafness and faith, the devil loses him forever. The mastermind is the fortress of the faithful. Affirm again. I unite with men of courage. I reject drifters. Together we rise to mastery. Speak until belief attracts the right allies. Refuse association with drifters. Better to stand alone in faith than surrounded by poison. Soon faith will draw those worthy of your aim. Harmony is the magnet of greatness. The mastermind not only multiplies strength, but sustains persistence. When one tires, others encourage. When one doubts, others affirm. When one stumbles, others lift. The devil cannot defeat such union. His whispers of fear are drowned by voices of faith. His discouragements are crushed by harmony. A mastermind is a shield no fear can penetrate. Therefore I charge you, seek your mastermind. Mastermind is a shield no fear can penetrate. Therefore I charge you, seek your mastermind. Build it carefully. Choose men of definiteness, courage, and persistence. Reject envy. Refuse discord. Demand harmony. Meet regularly. Plan boldly. Act decisively. Encourage, inspire, and sustain one another. In this union lies power beyond measure. With it you will rise swiftly to wealth. Without it, you remain weak. Affirm once more, I attract allies of faith. Together we rise. Together we multiply strength. These words are command to your subconscious. Speak them daily. Live as though true. Soon the law will answer and men of power will appear in your life. Unite with them. Form your mastermind. Fortune will obey. The subconscious mind is the silent servant of man. It never sleeps, never rests, never argues. It accepts impressions, whether born of faith or fear, and sets about to make them reality. It does not choose, it obeys. It is the soil into which every seed of thought is planted. What grows depends on what you plant, wheat or weeds, riches or poverty. Most men plant weeds. They speak of fear, dwell on debt, picture failure, repeat complaints. Their subconscious accepts these as commands and builds life accordingly. They curse fate, blame luck, envy the wealthy, yet never see that their own words and thoughts gave the orders. The devil delights in such men, for he whispers doubt, and their subconscious obeys. The wealthy guard their subconscious as fortress. They feed it only definiteness, only faith, only pictures of success. They write their aims, repeat them aloud, picture them as fact. They speak affirmations until belief is natural. They reject negative speech, avoid complainers, silence fear. Their subconscious, filled only with faith, works day and night to bring fortune. Rockefeller trained his subconscious. He repeated belief in order, efficiency, and control until it became instinct. When rivals panicked, he remained calm. When rivals panicked, he remained calm. His subconscious, saturated with faith, directed him to steady expansion. Fortune obeyed his inner command. Without such discipline, he might have drifted and failed. With it, he became master. Henry Ford confessed that he believed cars for every man would be reality long before it was. He spoke it, pictured it, lived it. His subconscious accepted it as fact, and every act bent toward that goal. When lawsuits, fires, and critics rose against him, his subconscious whispered faith, not fear. His fortune was fruit of inner command. Autosuggestion is the tool by which man plants thought into subconscious. By repeating words with emotion, by picturing vividly, by affirming daily, one engraves belief. The subconscious does not question, it obeys. Poverty, and it produces it. Speak riches, and it creates opportunity. The law is exact. You are master if you command. You are slave if you neglect. Affirm, my subconscious is my faithful servant. I feed it riches, faith, and definite tests. It creates what I command. Speak it morning and night. Write it. Repeat it until you feel it. Each repetition plants seed. Each picture waters it. Soon your subconscious will act, guiding ideas, attracting allies, arranging circumstances until your fortune stands visible. Exercise. Before sleep, repeat your definite chief aim aloud. Picture it vividly. Feel possession. Sleep with that thought. Through the night, your subconscious will labor upon it, directing wisdom, inspiring courage, and guiding action. Upon waking, repeat it again, setting the tone of your day. This daily practice is how the wealthy harness their silent servant. The drifter neglects his subconscious. He speaks carelessly, fills mind with gossip, worry, and fear. He pictures defeat, complains of fate, imagines poverty. His subconscious obeys. His life reflects his thought. He dies as he lived. Servant of fear. The devil needs no chains. When a man's own subconscious is filled with doubt, the master protects subconscious from poison. He refuses idle speech, silences self-pity, and avoids companions of fear. He surrounds himself with faith, affirmation, and vision. He understands that subconscious is neutral power ready to build where he feeds it. He feeds it riches and purpose. The result is inevitable. Fortune must appear. Abraham Lincoln's subconscious was saturated with faith in union. When despair pressed, when critics mocked, when war raged, his inner voice guided him steadily. Inspiration came in flashes, hunches, and courage drawn from infinite intelligence. His decisions were more than reason. They were fruit of subconscious trained in purpose. His leadership was guided within. Infinite intelligence speaks through subconscious. Sudden hunches, flashes of inspiration, dreams, intuition, these are its language. The man of faith hears and acts. The drifter doubts and ignores. Many fortunes have been born from one hunch obeyed. Many failures have come from ignoring them. The subconscious is gateway. Infinite intelligence flows through it. Edison trusted hunches, flashes of vision that came through subconscious. He acted upon them, persisting until reality matched the inner picture. Carnegie followed inspiration to integrate steel. Ford obeyed intuition to press forward against critics. Their greatness was not but obedience to inner voice trained in definiteness and faith. Affirm again. My subconscious is faithful servant. I command it with riches, courage, and faith. It obeys instantly. Speak until you believe. Live as though it were fact. Guard every word, every picture, every thought. Feed it only what you wish to harvest. It cannot resist. The subconscious creates reality according to your command. The devil confessed, once I fill a man's subconscious with fear and excuses, he is mine. That is his method. He whispers doubt daily until subconscious accepts it as fact. From then the man lives in defeat without chains. But when a man feeds faith daily, the devil is powerless. Subconscious filled with definiteness rejects his whispers. Therefore, I charge you, guard and guide your subconscious. Write your aim. Repeat it aloud daily. Picture it vividly. Affirm faith and courage. Refuse negative speech. Reject fear. Surround yourself with men of definiteness. In time, your subconscious will be filled only with riches. Life itself will obey. For infinite intelligence answers through subconscious command. Affirm once more. My subconscious creates only what I command. I command riches. I command freedom. I command faith. It obeys instantly. These are not empty words. They are law. Speak them daily within. Soon your life will show their truth. Fortune will appear suddenly, though silently it has been building within all along. All I have given you leads to one law. Desire is the seed, definiteness the compass, faith the fuel, decision the spark, persistence the bridge, imagination the workshop, the mastermind the alliance, and the subconscious the servant. Combined, these forces form the law of riches. Every fortune in history was built upon this law. There are no exceptions. The wealthy know this law. They may not explain it and live it in action. The poor miss it, walking past it daily, distracted by fear and doubt. They toil endlessly yet build nothing of their own. They believe wealth is luck, fate, or privilege. It is not. It is law hidden in plain sight, waiting for obedience. Andrew Carnegie obeyed this law and rose from bobbin boy to steel king. John D. Rockefeller obeyed this law and turned oil into empire. Henry Ford obeyed this law and placed cars in every home. Thomas Edison obeyed this law and brought light to the world. None of them were favored at birth. Each simply obeyed the law that others ignored. The crowd will tell you there are secrets known only to the rich. They will whisper of conspiracy, chance, or unfairness. But the truth is simpler. The law is open to all, but most laugh at it. They drift, excuse, and fear. They say it cannot be so simple. So they remain slaves. The wealthy obey, and they are free. This law demands urgency. Delay is drifting, and drifting is slavery. Each day's excuse strengthens the devil's grip. Each postponement blinds your vision. While you hesitate, others act. While you doubt, others believe. While you wait, others seize. Fortune does not delay. It answers deafness swiftly. Barnes decided he would be Edison's partner. His decision was definite, his desire burning, his faith unwavering, his persistence relentless. Years later, opportunity appeared, and his subconscious seized it. Overnight, his fortune changed. The law answered because he obeyed. Thousands who worked harder remained poor because they drifted. He rose because he was definite. Charles Schwab spoke boldly at Carnegie's dinner. His imagined pictured expansion. His decision was firm, his faith contagious. That one speech birthed United States Steel and billions of wealth. The crowd saw a miracle. In truth, it was law fulfilled. His fortune appeared overnight because his preparation had aligned with law. The same could be true for you. Affirm, I awake now. I obey the law. I claim wealth, freedom, and purpose. Speak it with conviction. Write it with boldness. Repeat it until your subconscious accepts it. This is not wishful thinking. It is obedience to law. Each repetition strengthens belief. Each act aligns with aim. Each day compounds until fortune appears. Exercise. Write your definite chief aim today. Name the exact sum, the exact date, the exact service. Read it aloud twice daily. Picture it vividly. Speak affirmations of faith. Decide firmly never to retreat. Persist daily. Seek allies of harmony. Guard subconscious with care. This is not suggestion. It is command. This is the law of wealth. The wealthy are not free from fear, but they master it by faith. They are not from defeat, but they endure by persistence. They are not free from ridicule, but they silence it with decision. They are not solitary geniuses, but they multiply strength with mastermind. They are not lucky, but obedient to law. This is the dividing line. Affirm again, I obey the law of riches. I persist until victory. I imagine boldly. I unite with allies. I command my subconscious. I am master, not slave. These are not empty words. They are the creed of the 2% who rise above drifting. Repeat them until they are nature. Live them until they are fact. The devil owns 98% of men because they drift, excuse, fear, and quit. But the law is no respecter of persons. The same law that lifted Carnegie can lift you. The same law that crowned Ford, Edison, and Rockefeller can crown you. The only question is, will you obey or will you remain blind until it is too late? Therefore, I charge you, awaken, write your aim, declare it aloud, believe it until fear dies. Decide swift allies, command your subconscious daily. Do not delay, for delay is drifting, and drifting is death. Obey the law, and riches will be yours. Ignore, and slavery will be your fate. Affirm once more, I awake now. I obey the law. I claim wealth and purpose. Speak it as command, not plea. Life will answer. Fortune will appear. You cross the divide between want and wealth. The law has never failed, and it will not fail you if you act now before it is Thank you for listening until the end of the video. If you found it helpful, hit subscribe so you won't miss the next business lessons. Share your startup idea in the comments. I'd love to hear your story and learn together. See you in the next video on Listen to Get Rich.